the COVID-19 restrictions. We'll get to that in just a moment. Let us know how you feel about it. But about that, we are live on Facebook and YouTube, so you can always give us your perspective in the comments section. I'm Danielle Wiggins here with Austin Love, Maureen Kyle, Dave Chudowski, and Matt Standridge, who is in for Holly today. And Matt, yesterday, beautiful weather. But I am seeing a little bit of rain on that traffic map. When is that gonna go away?
Yeah, no kidding. We were watching that. It's towards the islands in Sandusky right now. Basically, what's going on is the rest of the week's going to turn rainy. But today we've got kind of this appetizer band coming in. The main course comes in tomorrow. We'll have much more rain tomorrow, but just a couple raindrops this morning. Not a big deal. Maybe even some sun later this afternoon, and we're going to get the 70s. But then Danielle's rainy, 70s still kind of the rest of the week. Those will clear out by Friday. And then, guys, we put a 7-day forecast up, but I'll be honest, when you're looking at some long range things, it looks like high pressure, hot, and humid going into most of next week. So once we get done with this rain coming up for the next couple of days, it's going to be very warm as you look towards the kind of long-term future.
Very, very warm. I like that. So we need I'm sorry, I just can't get over. You said tomorrow is the heavy rain.
Yep.
Is it like a soaker all day?
Kind of. It won't be pouring, but it'll be the kind of day where there's mostly showers. Most of the time, we're going to be awake.
Oh, man, like Friday, huh?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Matt. We appreciate that. I know you have to get off to WTAM to give them their forecast. And again, like I said, we are one day away from those restrictions being lifted in Ohio, COVID-19. So, Austin, let us know what's the latest with that, what's going away, and how are businesses responding?
Yeah, so COVID restrictions they're going to be lifted tomorrow. So when you go into a restaurant, a business, if on their discretion, this has been lifted on the state, but also businesses can make their own decisions on what they want to do. So, but in general, the state is lifting the mask order. They are lifting social distancing orders. In restaurants, they're lifting the capacity order as well. So do keep in mind the thing to obviously have in the back of your mind. Don't completely lose a mask. I've gotten in trouble here a little bit. I'm fully vaccinated, and at some places like a Starbucks or a Meijer or anything like that, they say if you're fully vaccinated, you can go in without a mask. But some places are still having you go wear a mask. I went to church and they're like, "Oh, you still need to wear a mask." I was like, "Oh boy, I ran over to Heinen's and had to grab another mask because I just wasn't used to it." So make sure you're just keeping that in mind. But businesses, of course, are excited about this. All across Ohio, 3,000 restaurants have closed in the last year. Over the last year, this all started with restaurants March 15th of 2020. So this is definitely a much needed change to help them get back. But again, it's not just going to be boom, like on Thursday, business is back to normal, things are booming again. It's going to take a while for restaurants to fully recover from just this past year. Experts are saying it could take a number of years for this to happen. And also now they're dealing with workforce shortages as well. So while things on paper look like they're back to normal and getting back to normal starting tomorrow with lifting these restrictions, there's still a lot of things that especially local businesses are having to deal with. But yeah, again, 45% of Ohioans have received at least one dose of the COVID-19 vaccine. So that's one of the things and those numbers continue to increase, especially with the Vax-A-Million thing as well. So that's one of the things that Governor prompted him to lift these social distancing guidelines and capacity restrictions as well. So this weekend was one of the first weekends where, minus the crappy weather, is like, all right, things feel normal, and it's kind of getting back to there, and just the mental, side of it as well. It's like, all right, like this is how life should really be. Even the TSA say the busiest day in the air since the pandemic, over 2 million travelers over the year, so or over the last weekend. So slowly but surely getting back there, and tomorrow is going to be the big jump for Ohio too. And tomorrow I'll be live at Progressive Field. The Indians having full capacity for the first time this season. So excited for that as well. And make sure you're tuning in for tomorrow morning.
it was interesting. I was able to check out the Indians game, well, not last night, but yesterday afternoon.
Yeah.
And just to see, even though you still saw fans in the stands, but to still see those big gaps. So I wonder, are people going to return, just as you said, the businesses, they're expecting a trickle in of returning to full capacity in terms of people coming to the restaurants. I wonder if the same is going to be for, sporting events.
Yeah, and it's funny at the beginning. So I went to a game early on, one of the first weeks that the Indians were, and it was 30% capacity. I think Allison and I noticed it wasn't even full with 30 capacity, because I think even at that time, and in a weird way, I was like, I think when it gets to full capacity, maybe obviously more people will be going, but there will more or less be that mental hurdle of more people feeling, more slowly but surely, people feeling more and more safe to go. So tomorrow, that's going to be the first game. It's a day game, but then June 11th, the Indians are having this huge bash, and kind of like a reopening day, and trying to sell out the whole thing. So we'll be live there as well. So looking forward to that in a few weeks. I also heard, this is breaking news here today, is that vendors will be back on June 11th. So I was texting with the margarita guy yesterday. So he was really excited. Yeah. So stay tuned for a story on that.
Oh, the margarita guy returns. Man, love it.
Imagine how loud he's gonna yell. I mean, it's been bottled up for a year.
Yeah.
You said you've been texting with them. I mean, how has he been feeling? I mean, is he excited to get back?
Yeah, I texted him a few weeks ago, just being like, hey, I would love to do a story when you guys return. Let me know. He's like, we have no idea, literally no idea if we're even going to return. A few weeks ago, he was like, I don't know if I will return this year, quite honestly. But yeah, they're bringing him back. He doesn't know if he's going to be doing the margarita yet, but he does know that his first day will be June 11th. So I hope he gets the margarita. I mean, what's the margarita guy serving peanuts? That's not fun. He's not the peanut guy. You got to get the margarita guy.
Right. I love that.
That is name dropping the margarita guy on us here this morning.
Oh yes. Big star power this morning, of course. Yeah, Joey Kleinheads.
And it's interesting, Austin, about how you said about going to church and then had to run the Walgreens to get a mask because they required it. Over the weekend, I went into Walgreens and just, I'm fully vaccinated as well, and just went in, and then I'm like, I saw everybody wearing masks, and I go, uh-oh.
What's funny?
I did the same thing this weekend too at the grocery store.
Yeah, nobody said anything to me, and then they actually recognized me, like, "Hey, Danielle from Channel 3." I'm like, "Oh no!"
Oh my god!
I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna get in trouble." So I walked around like this.
Same thing happened at CVS. I was walking into CVS ready to just walk in with no mask, and then I double checked their signs, and it still said fully, even if you're fully vaccinated, still wear a mask. So
CVS is?
CVS, I think, I don't know what the sign was, just said, it said, please wear a face cover.
Their signs down.
Maybe they haven't, but I mean, so maybe they haven't taken their sign down, but it's that weird, so I was going into CVS before I went in for my haircut. And so then I'm wearing the mask in the hair salon, looking around, and nobody else is wearing a mask, but I'm like, I don't know what to do here.
What do I do?
What do you want me? What do you want me to do? I don't know how this works.
It's gonna be like that for a while. Get that.
I know.
Because I was in there for 5 minutes before I'm like, why is I'm supposed to wear a mask. So
yeah,
that's it.
I know. I still have them all in my purse, and I have a baggie of washed ones, and it's just, I think they're gonna have to be on hand for a long time.
Yeah. Right there. I'm used to carrying them on
my
arm.
Yeah, you wear it like a bracelet. Yeah.
Right. And Dave, you had a great story. Your Game Changer series is back. Why don't you preview that a bit, because we will be putting all of the stories in the comments section.
Yeah, thank you, Danielle. Akbar Bennett, fire chief down in Canton. My first in-person Game Changer since the pandemic. So we've done a couple on Zoom. For a while, we weren't doing any at all once the pandemic hit. So it was exciting to get back in person and do an interview that way. And I couldn't ask for a better guy to showcase. Akbar Bennett, first African-American fire chief in the history of the Canton Fire Department. Think about that. 199 years. They're coming up on 200 years. And he really has worked hard to get to this point. And in the story that I featured this morning, and you can go on WKYC.com and on social media and watch the entire thing. But, really the hard work and dedication and things he's had to overcome, a real touching story. He talks about his mom, the most important person in his life. And he got the call. He was on the job when she had a heart attack in her nursing home. And he's the one who had to go and try to save her life. And a real emotional story talking about that. And the inspiration that she was for him to get to where he's at now. And we had some breaking news as well, Operation Heartbeat. And I want to get this exactly right. He says he wants to teach every male and female between the ages of 16 and up proper CPR, everybody in the entire city of Canton. And that's an inspiration from what happened with his mom, because he was giving his mom CPR. And he has many other things he's going to want to do in the community. We talk about that in the story. And, he moved to Canton when he was 1. He told me he bleeds Canton. And I just can't say enough about Akbar Bennett. And, what he has 12. They're unfortunately not all still alive, but he's the youngest of 12 siblings. Wow. So just a great family man. And, I'm excited to see what he's going to do for the city of Canton with a lot of changes down there.
It's phenomenal to see someone rise up within the city and within, he moved there when he was 1, but he's Canton bred. Even though he wasn't born here, it's still Canton bred. And to see someone like that in such a high position, it's really phenomenal story that you have, Dave. So we appreciate it, and check it out on WKYC.com. Everyone, I hope you have a great Tuesday, the start of June. We'll be here tomorrow morning to kick off your Wednesday, starting at 4:30 a.m. on Go. Have a great day, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow.